Crystal, watching the dog whisper on that.
6:01, Pam. Let's start. We got a ball game. Let's go. Let's go.
He'll be outside. Yeah, that's gonna be just essential.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is a special call meeting of the City Council of the City of Pearsall, being today, March 17th at 6 p.m. Madam Secretary, we have a roll call, please.
Ben Bristow,
Here.
James Leal,
Present.
Rachel Garza. Here. Sonia Hernandez. Here. Tiffany Talamantes. Here. Ramiro Trevino.
Here.
Brenda Trevino. Aurora Garza.
All right, with that, we do have a quorum. With that, we'll have our invocation. Dear God, Lord, thank you for this another day, Lord, and I pray you guide us in the work of the city. I will pray your hand continue to be upon our leaders and our staff, that they work to continue to bring utilities to our and good roads and law enforcement to our communities. Father, just guide us in this work. Thank you for giving us another day of life, and it's in Jesus Christ, your son's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Be seated. With that, I don't have any mayor's moments. Thank you guys for coming. With that, we'll move right on into item 6A. These are action items. Consider an approval of a plan to finance to issue one or more series of certificates of obligation authorizing city staff, bond counsel, and finance advisor to proceed with such financing and approve other matters incident and related thereto. This is an action item. I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second. Motion by Councilman Trevino, second by Councilwoman Talamantes.
Yep. Mayor and Council, we have a financial advisor, I believe, is on, and so is our bond counsel. Thomas is sitting in for Robert. I don't know if Thomas or Juan, whoever wants to speak first regarding this particular item. We'll open it up and give an idea. I think you have a presentation. This one right here, one was there one that was given to you all? It has. Oh, this one, sorry. Be the one that has. Facts. Especially the plan finance, did you get my copy of that? The plan finance.
That's the only thing that I was not given. They updated the resolution.
Yeah, Thomas sent it to you. Thomas would send it to you, I'm sorry. Thomas sent it to you and
I can share my screen if that'll pop up on the televisions in there.
Yeah, it would have been sent from Thomas. So. This was the revised version of the plan finance, so. Anyway, we'll let Thomas speak to this and. It would have been. It would have been this one. I thought.
Okay. Thomas, can you go ahead and share your screen?
Yes, let me try right now. There we go. Can you see this?
Yes.
You want to think, I'll make copies of this, just because they can have to their file.
10 copies.
Yes. I'll follow that.
Okay, it's on the screen. Thomas, you want to go ahead?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much again for letting us join virtually, and again, Robert regrets his absence this evening, but I'll try to be brief, but please let me know if I have any questions as I go through the plan of finance here tonight to discuss the proposed and contemplated combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation series 2026 through the Texas Water Development Board. To start with, a list of projects that were approved in the city's application to the Texas Water Development Board. This is a preliminary estimate of amounts right now. This is again related to improvements and upgrades to the city's wastewater treatment plant, as well as some new lift stations, sewer lines, main lines, generators, and manholes. Estimated project dollars about 11.8 million right now. And this is all related to the CO's Series 2026. That'll be a loan. The city also has received approval for about 3.8 million in principal forgiveness from the Water Development Board. So the total funding commitment from the Water Development Board is actually about 16.7 million. 16.5 million, excuse me. You can see the estimated cost of issuance. That number looks pretty high. I'm sure that there's an origination fee of about 1.75% that the Water Development Board charges on its obligations, and so that's included in the cost of issuance here. Again, these are just preliminary estimates right now, but you can see the combination of project fund cost of issuance equals the combined authorized loan amount of $12,245,000. Again, this does not include the 3.8 million in principal forgiveness that the city is also qualified for.
I'm gonna just real quick, so I don't want to confuse the council.
Yes, sir.
I'll just speak a little bit to this. If you look at these 2 pages, the 2-page document that you have, what this is basically all sewer projects, so sewer related projects. So what you'll find is, part of this financing is going to be the money, the refinancing of a $4 million loan that was borrowed for the project that runs right here in Business 35. That project was, if y'all remember, was about $10 million, but that's comprised of water and wastewater. So if you look at the what we call the project fund request, when we ask for the money from the Water Development Board, the 2-page document, you'll see here the proposed improvements we've talked about. You look at the very last paragraph on the first page. The city proposes to improve the wastewater treatment plant with a new bar stream, variable frequency drives, and replacement of flow meters and the SCADA. The city also proposes to construct two new lift stations, which we're doing on Business 35. 15,000 square feet, linear feet of 8-inch sewer line, 1,000 feet of 4-inch main, generators, and manholes. The city will pay the decommission of septic tanks. And so you guys will know this is something that we're gonna have to work on even as we finish off the main line here. When we talked about decommissioned septic tanks, when the residents are added to the collection system, that's gonna be decommissioning every septic tank that's from here all the way to Jack's Cove. So when we talk, we're gonna put them on the system, but we're gonna have to figure out a way as far as payments. So you'll see that that's part of that. It's part of what we're financing is part of getting them on the city sewer system. So that's on the very last, again, second to the last sentence of the first page. And the other thing is an asset management plan. So this plan here calls for, when we turned it in initially, it was a little over 16 million. Thomas's numbers reflect a little bit more, but that's basically what this entails. The other thing that we, again, depending on how we come out after we do all the things we've told the Water Development, what we're gonna do, if there's any residual money that we anticipate, hopefully there will be, we are gonna ask for additional projects that are sewer related. So that's what we're looking at. One of the things, as I mentioned before, looking at reclaimed water sales, something that we would like to consider, but we have to first do the things that we said we were gonna do as part of our initial application to the Water Development Board. So whenever we apply for funding for the Water Development Board, this is the first thing that comes. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure y'all understood that's what we're asking for as far as the money, the dollars is for the work that we're already doing and work that we're gonna do at the wastewater treatment plant. Hector and these guys can speak to some of the projects if you have any more details as to what we need to do out there. But anyway, I know we're talking numbers here, but that's what this is.
Fred, do we have a breakdown roughly of what is a Business 35 project? Just out of the 16 million, what would be that and what would be left?
From what I'm, again, depending on, again, the elimination of some of the septic tanks and things of that sort, right now, we're at about 6, it's just sewer related, right? 6 million, also matters. $6 million, just $6 to $7 million is just for the sewer line and the lift stations that go out there. So that's, of these funds, that's part of that's gonna go to pay that, right? To refinance the money that we borrowed and also to pay if there's anything else we have left. Again, what the challenge for us is gonna be, there's properties out there that are gonna need sewer, we're gonna tap them in, but getting the cost and the breakdown of how much that's gonna run is still, we're still gonna have to do some more analysis of how much that's really gonna cost us. Because that you're talking not only doing the main line, but also extending that further out, the line further out to people that are gonna need to be tapped into the source. So, but to answer your question, Mayor, I would anticipate anywhere from $8 to $9 million for it.
Before we're done.
Yes, sir. 8 to 9, so I'd say about half of our sewer money was gonna go primarily to the business that we got. Yes, sir. Thomas, I'm sorry I cut you off, but that's,
Thomas, you wanna go ahead? Got anything else?
Sure.
to add?
Happy to. This is a lot of information, obviously here. Apologize if it's difficult to read, but I'll just cover the gist of it. This is what was submitted to the Texas Water Development Board as part of their review and approval process. This is essentially laying out what a projected possible INS tax increase could be related to the issuances of the Series 2026 obligations. And to kind of explain the 26A versus 26B, these cities actually qualify for two separate funding buckets. One is a low interest loan amount in the amount of $10.965 million, and the other is a zero interest loan amount and in the amount of $1.28 million. And so one set of obligations will pay interest. Again, it's qualified for a low interest loan through the Water Development Board, given what rates have done since the Middle East dust up, if you will. Certainly the city's going to look at some serious savings compared to an open market transaction. And this portion here again is a zero interest rate loan, and so the city will only repay principal on this portion here. The combined amount is that $12,245,000 we discussed on the prior slide.
Can I speak to Thomas, and you may speak to the ones what, and then you can pay attention to the entire thing, Council, but if you want to look at column J and column M, J is telling you, and so part of what we worked on as far as how to finance this, if you look at the first 3 or 4 years there, you'll find on column J, you'll find that there's the total debt service is smaller, and that's because the interest are smaller. Well, but actually both principal and interest are smaller for those years. And the reason for that is because we're scheduled to pay off 2012 debt in 2027. And so we're still going to be paying on the 2012 debt up until 2027. And then we're scheduled to pay the 2016 bond off in 2031. So the idea is to make those payments smaller for those years. So from 2026 to 2030, I believe, the payments are smaller. So you'll see that, and you can see that again on column J, you'll see that it jumps from 301,000 to 583,000, I believe, in 2030, and then so on and so forth. So what we anticipate to do is to pay off the 2016 debt and use those dollars to pay that down, to pay the debt down for 2012 debt, and we paid off to pay that bigger dollar amount also. It's structured in a way that we know we recognize that we're still going to have some debt service of 2012 and 2016, but we anticipate being out of a good chunk of debt in 2027 and more debt in 2031. So we should be out of pretty good two of our bonds in those years. So I just wanted to make sure. And then on that end, I have to verify and work with Christine and also with our financial advisor as to what we do between 2026 and 2029. We think we should be able to finance and fund what we have to as far as our debt payments. So I want to make sure that y'all are aware that that's what we're doing and proposing is we planned it out. I want to say we planned this out well to where we financed it for a longer period of time, and we believe we can keep keep up with payments to the debt issues.
Fred, this is, or Thomas, this is a 20-year, this new, is it 20 or a 30-year?
It's a 30-year repayment.
We said
What was that, what was that, Thomas?
the 30.
30, yeah, 30.
And council, we had originally done the 12 and the 16 bonds on a 15-year M. And right now, as you guys are aware, the debt service is a little over 2 million a year. And once that in 2031, it's gonna knock almost $1 million off of that. And so this is how we feel comfortable that we're gonna be able to make this debt service. It's gonna keep us at about a static level of about 2 million as these drop off and these others pop on. But in two, if you'll note, every year on column C, he's using a static tax base of 413 million, and that has always kind of increased. And so that's a very conservative approach to where we believe the tax base is going to be maintained. But that's the whole premise of us getting this money, is the ability to make those debt service, because our debt's dropping off, substantially within the next 5 years. So
That's all, Thomas, I'm sorry, that's the last time I'll cut you off.
No problem. Yes, to clarify, this is a 30-year loan, but again, the interest rates that y'all have qualified for through the Water Development Board are significantly below market rates. And so with the 30-year loan, you're actually maximizing the project dollars you can receive, because we're kind of reducing the annual payment owed by the city on the loan. But again, these are preliminary numbers. This is what we submitted that was part of the application to the Water Development Board. When we go to actually price and structure the deal, the intention is to mitigate to the best of our ability the tax impact to the city in the next fiscal year. And so we're going to work with y'all and with the Water Development Board to try to structure this in a way that meets all of the city's goals, and then obviously has the lowest impact to taxpayer. Another note that I should include is that, the city does make existing self-supporting debt service payments from the Water and Sewer Fund. You can, of course, continue to apply future water and sewer revenues against this new loan as well. And so that could also be used to mitigate tax increases going forward. But again, this is all preliminary information. Just wanted to give you what was provided to the Water Development Board, what was approved. When it comes to pricing, that's when we'll actually set the principal and interest repayment schedule. We'd be able to present the final results of that, of course, to the council. But again, two separate loans here. One is low interest bearing, the other one is zero interest. And then you, of course, have the principal forgiveness amount through several different buckets here: disadvantaged community loan forgiveness, small rural loan forgiveness, and the first time service loan forgiveness amount there, for a combined amount of about 3.8 million. Any questions on this portion?
any questions for Nice for
Assuming all this goes through council over all the loan forgiveness and the grants that we got, you're looking around a little over $10 million that total for all the grants and loan forgiveness we had. So I think the staff's done a good job. So anyway, it's a good chunk of money that we've got grants and loan forgiveness on. We'd like to get y'all's approval.
So we've got a motion and a second to approve this the funding of this aspect, about $16 million. We have any other questions?
I don't have any questions. I think what I want to know from the staff and Mr. Reyes is that as we move forward with this, when these projects are completed, we don't foresee any other issues that within years to come, and this is gonna prepare us for the development that might be coming through the I-35 corridor. Is that correct?
Right, that's part of what we're gauging is, again, the wastewater plant here can speak to this, but we know we have to keep the wastewater plant running. So part of the work we've done, that's been done, has to do with the testing ground. It is really, to me, wastewater plants are really expensive. Wastewater plant running around. What all we're doing right now is making sure that we replace things that need to be replaced, and at the same time, what we're looking at least from our end, is we're primarily, and I think we can all say this, that we've primarily done the water and wastewater projects. We've done some street projects, we've done like I mentioned, the mayor, we did the police station through bond money, but it's all been the water, wastewater. The only thing that we're asking is, we're still gonna do primarily water and wastewater projects, but of the quality of life project we're talking about, the rate to reclaim water. That's part of what we'd like to consider, again, assuming there's, and there should be some dollars left over. After we get the work done at the wastewater plant and at on Business 35. What I can't foresee and anticipate right now, we still need to gauge some is how much additional we're gonna spend to get these people that are on 35 onto this. We've received 2 or 3 requests of people that want us to basically run a line to on a road or run a right of way to give them sewer. A former council member has made a request to run, because again, remember the sewer line and the water lines are just running on 35 primarily, and this is 35. So the roads that connect right to 35 or Business 35, there's still potentially some opportunity to run a sewer line and get those hookups, get those people hooked up. We don't have that cost. That is not part of this project, but it is something as a council, we move forward. This council, future councils are gonna have to consider, don't want to add those onto the sewer system. And if it makes sense, to do that, but we'll be getting some requests and we're gonna have to get some estimates on what that's gonna cost to get more people on this. But to answer your question is the development, we need to keep the sewer plant course running. But again, as far as quality of life, that would be the one project that we'd say we'd ask for is again, we'll do something at the reclaimed water for our porch complex. So I think that was part of the master plan. That's what we talked about. We talked to the school district. I know at one time they talked about doing UIL games out there, soccer games. You know, I know that's kind of been a little silent, I guess. But I believe that we can run sports there year round if you have good water supply, and you're able to provide green fields throughout the entire year. I mean, so that's we would have an endless amount of water. But I think that would be one of the benefits for the community is having fields that are really good shape throughout the year. Yeah, thank you.
And one of the things that Fred indicated to me too, guys, is this, the residual left over is gonna be used for the capital expenses to keep that wastewater treatment plant up and running. And I think Eric can brief us on the things that we just, maybe we haven't had the ability to keep it as fine-tuned as we'd like, but that's the thing, we're gonna, I guess, polish it up with this extra money.
I think the key word here is efficiency. I think trying to get more efficient than where we are right now. We're a little bit, say the least, behind the times a little bit. So we're trying to modernize some of the components and just be more efficient.
It's an old system. It's an older system.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of those. That system is for 40. Some of it's 40, 50 years.
Parts of it is over 40 years old. We're trying to just be a little more efficient.
It gets a lot of use, about 1 million gallons a day.
800,000 to 1 million gallons.
So,
You know, toilet.
it's a lot. A lot of use. And we're blessed to have the guys that we have take care of that, and this is an opportunity to kind of efficient is good work, chime it up. Council, do you have any other questions? We've got a motion to second. Are we ready to vote? Hearing no other questions, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 6B. Consider an approval of a resolution by the city council of the city of Pearsall, Texas, authorizing the printed publication of a notice of intent to issue one or more series of certificate of obligations and provide for other matters in connection wherewith. We need a motion in a second. Motion by Councilwoman Hernandez, second by Councilwoman Talamantes. City Manager.
Mr. Aguilera, you want to speak to this, sir?
Sure. I'd be happy to do that. Thank you very much, Mayor Briscoe, council members. This is what we got before you. What we prepared is a resolution to authorize the publication and the posting of a notice of intention to issue one or more series of certificates of obligation. This is the same thing we've done in the past with the council. I know you're very familiar with this procedure. The law requires that a resolution be adopted and that a notice be published in a local newspaper once a week for 2 consecutive weeks. And I know that in the timetable that Thomas has up right there, we've got the first publication to be March the 26th, next coming Thursday. And then we've got the second publication to be done on April the 2nd of this year. Also, as I mentioned, the law now requires that the notice be published in the be posted in the city's website continuously for at least 45 days prior to the sale of the certificates of obligation. We have placed the notice says that it's the city will consider the sale of certificates of obligation in an amount not to exceed $12,500. Got a little bit of cushion. The
12 million.
amount will not be determined until we hear from the Water Development Board and Thomas and Robert Tijerin and their group put together the what the total amount is going to be. But we anticipate it's not going to be, well, it cannot be more than $12,500,000 for the two certificates of obligation that we're looking at, the 2026A and 2026B. So if it's the wishes of the council to proceed and authorize that this notice be published and posted as required by law, then we need a motion to adopt the resolution as presented.
And council, we've got a motion and a second. And again, this is and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dadina, but it doesn't include the grant and the interest fee. Is that correct?
That
For about 16 million.
That is correct, because as we had discussed before, Thomas and I were discussing earlier today, the loan for the principal forgiveness in the amount of $3,857,813. That's going to be a separate agreement that the Water Development Board will put together, and that in essence is a grant. That's money that's going to be given to the city with no obligation of repayment, either in principal or interest. So that in itself is not included in this. The only loans that will be made if we proceed later on with the sale. You're not authorizing a sale today. All you're authorizing is the publication and the posting of the notice. But if we proceed and move forward, then you will have two certificates of obligation, one with low interest, and then the second one for no interest at all. But those two will be loans, and those are covered in this notice, so that people will be able to see what the city will be committing itself to as far as the two loans.
You'll see on the timetable, council, we didn't share that with you. Do you have that up, Thomas, or do you have that one? The timeline, there's a timeline on there. No, sir. It's y'all had it up just now. That. So March 17th, which is today, you have notices on March 26th and the 2nd, May the 5th. They're setting the interest rate in May the 12th. The unfortunate thing about that is the special city, there's a city council meeting on that day. That's the day that we also canvass. May the 12th. So I know it wasn't intentional, but that's what happened. So what we're gonna ask on May the 12th is that this council decide to approve before the canvass of the election. We've done that before, but that's the way this is.
Council, do you have any other questions? This is just the posting of these. That's a resolution. We've got a motion second. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Madam Secretary, for the record, Councilwoman Brenda Trevino arrived at 6:05, and it is now 6:27. And we are going to executive session. Council, if you leave your phones here. Yeah, Judge, we're going to invite you to join us. Okay, Council.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Barbie, are you there? muted us?
He's muted, yeah. He's
Hi.
on.
I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah, howdy, just checking in.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, welcome. All right, we are now back in open session. No action was taken in executive session and it is 7:08. With that, we're going to move on to item 8A. Discuss and consider interlocal agreement for administrative service with Frio County and the city of Pearsall. City, wait, excuse me, Pearsall, that's a cost pretty billion. Interlocal agreement with Frio County and the city of Dilly. Council, what is your pleasure?
Motion to move forward with was discussed in the executive.
Okay, there's a motion on the table to move forward with the
Second.
administrative agreement as discussed in the executive session. We have a second.
Since I, Chief Rachel said that.
I'm sorry, who did?
Rachel.
Councilwoman Argarza, a second. Is there any questions? With that, go for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, item 8B, discuss and consider duties of the municipal judge. Council, what is your pleasure?
No action.
There is a motion to table by Councilman Trevino. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Hernandez. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 8C, discuss and consider the appointment, employment, evaluation, duties, discipline, or dismissal of the city manager. Council, what is your pleasure?
Motion to move forward what was discussed in executive session.
There's a motion on the table to move forward with the contract as discussed back in executive session. There's a second by Councilwoman Trevino. Is there any questions? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, with that, there is item number 9, general announcements. Remember, we have Pioneer Days this weekend. The Alamo letter is going to be unveiled at 10 o'clock. Please come and join us.
What's it gonna be?
The Alamo letter, the resolution.
Okay.
And we've got the winner of the 7th grade history contest. Writers is really good, really good. We'll read that letter as well. So anyway, hope you guys can make it 10 o'clock Saturday. And come by the Cowboy chip wagon check box. I'll give you a biscuit.
Yes, Janet.
Coffee and conversation.
Coffee and conversation.
Coffee conversation at where at
Starbucks.
at where?
Tomorrow.
At
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
At
tomorrow,
9.
The PD.
And we have another, I think you have we can talk about that in April. We have some other events in March and April, I think.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. All right, very good. Any other announcements, council? Well, thank you guys very much for giving up another Tuesday evening. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilwoman Argarza, second by Councilwoman Trevino. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? None. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Hey, we're still doing the other meetings.
Yep.
Okay, we want to rock and roll? Okay. All right, council. So do we do something else? Just give me, I think we're still good.
Did she know? And it's gonna leave it in?
All right, hello and welcome to a special city council meeting of the city of Pearsall Industrial Development Corporation held today, Tuesday, March 17th. It is 7:12. Madam Secretary, can we have a roll call, please?
Is this when we're doing the PIDC, not the PFC?
Say that again.
The PIDC, we're not doing the
Yes.
PFC where everyone is?
This is the PID meeting. It's first and the PFC
I
second.
think you have different board members, Mayor, for that.
Yes.
So you want to be.
The PFC should be
Oh, would
first
you
with
like-
everybody, yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
forgive me, council. It is now 7:13. This is a note of the public meeting for the Pearsall Public Facility Corporation. Today, March 17th at 214 South Ash. Board members are including Ben Briscoe, Leo Leal, Brandon Trevino, Sonia Hernandez, Rachel Garza, Tiffany Talamantes, Aurora Garza, and Ramiro Trevino.